trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ is his name and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they all are at his command. Oh God, that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes, EA is always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can. Turbo stuck in space, well, you're trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ's his name and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they all are at his command. I don't know if that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes, EA's always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can hear.
Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune.
Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. You two girls. Tell your friends. You in the hat. Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Welcome to Space News. This is EJ's Space and Rocket Review. I am EJ, your host, coming at you live from Back Pain O'Clock. That's a time, not a place. Whatever. Boff. Puke. Whatever. Here's my money. Don't worry, pizza. We'll have it for you next week. All right. So, how are you guys doing? Everybody good? Did you enjoy Kerbal? If you're watching this from a VOD, this isn't going to make any sense. But if you're watching from the live streams, yeah, we just played KSP a second ago. First time in a long time. What AI do you use for these banging tunes? Suno? This is what we use? What did you do to your back? Crownless, I was playing Beam yesterday on stream. And I was sitting down there in the racing ring, and I reached for the mouse, and my back decided that it didn't want to be used as a back for a little while. So, yeah, it got so bad I couldn't sit straight in the stream. I couldn't sit straight in the racing rig, and I definitely wasn't going to move the racing rig out of the way, so I just stopped. I had Bree help me move the racing rig out so I could get my regular chair back in. And even then, I'm going to do Space News, and then I'm going to go lie down. I got to hit the heating pad again. But it's actually getting a little bit better. I did take more ibuprofen. So, no, not while fixing the car, believe it or not. No, I tweaked it in my sleep, I think. I slept wrong, and it hurt my back. And it was a little sore when we were playing Beam, and then I reached for something wrong, and I stretched a trap muscle, and my back was just like, hey. You know, if I was an executable, I'd be crashing right now. And so back.exe stopped working, and I was like, that's not good. And now it's just painful. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. You know, and yesterday I was saying like, oh, don't get old. No, that's not true. Getting old is cool. You can yell at kids to get off your lawn. It's pretty sick. Don't hurt your back. Don't do that. Make sure you adhere to proper lifting techniques. Lift with your legs, not your back. If you lift with your back even once, you're going to regret it. Don't do that. Wear a back brace if you have to. People will call you a wimp. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you're going to be 40 and you're going to be like, and everyone else is going to be like me. Yeah, you only really get one. You don't, and once you screw it up, oh, it's screwed up, and it's screwed up permanently. So if you see me doing this throughout the day, I'm pushing up on the armrests and letting my back stretch out. Yep, you were doing dishes and your back said no. Then you were on muscle relaxers for 9 days. That's how it happens, dude. It's indiscriminate, man. It just happens. Like I've been working on the car for the last 2 weeks. Yesterday, over the weekend, me and my cousins were like, you know, we had a big get together for Father's Day, and it was at one of my cousins' houses, and there is car parts because it's my family. There's car parts, right? And there was a trailer axle, and we were like, I bet you can't bench that trailer axle. So I'm like, okay, bench the damn trailer axle, did a clean with it, did an Olympic lift. Felt great. That felt great. Sunday night into Monday, I slept like a baby. Then this. That was a dominance pose. Wait, isn't that a T pose? Oh, that feels really good. Stretching your back out. Oh, that feels great, actually. Their dominance. All right. Anyway, so let's start up our space news here. We're going to start with ArianeGroup. Let's see what we got. ArianeGroup says this: in Fortnite, it's a question of timing, positioning, and strategy. Strangely enough, it's exactly the same for Ariane 6. It doesn't respawn, doesn't make parachute jumps, and doesn't need to farm materials for construction, but yeah, Mercury, I'm getting to it, dude. We flew a bunch of planes around Lava Eagle, yeah. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's real. Just thought I'd let you know. Uh yeah, that's this thread. The thread is great. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I saw this thread for the first time yesterday. What? This is a great thread. Thank you, ArianeGroup. Very cool. Ken, that's pretty funny, man. Can we move on now? You want to move on? All right. So I have questions about this, mainly why. Yeah, I think that seems to be the gist of what everybody is thinking. What are you doing? Fortnite? What year is it? The levels of how do you do, fellow kids? Rock band. Music band.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Jay Gunny, 11-month resub. Thank you very much. I don't see enough movement. I'm not seeing enough movement. All right. So, no, that was a joke. I mean, it wasn't, but here, check this out. This is actually cool. Germany's Polaris space plane secures 5.4 million euros in new funding. Polaris space planes has secured 5.4 million euros in new funding through an oversubscribed top-up to its recent seed round. Founded in 2019, Polaris Space Planes is developing a multi-purpose spaceplane and hypersonic transport system called Aurora. With the addition of an expendable upper stage, the spaceplane is designed to be capable of delivering payloads up to 1,000 kilos into low Earth orbit. That's 2,200 pounds. On the 13th of June, the company announced that it completed an oversubscribed top-up to its seed funding round. The extension was co-led by Capnamic Ventures Bremen and Spacewalk VC, with significant contributions from Dynas Holding and E2MC Ventures. With the additional 5.4 million, Polaris has now raised a total of 12.4 million. In an update published on LinkedIn, the company explained that the new funding would be used to bring its first commercial product to market. 12 million for an SSTO space plane. Okay. Pre-fund upcoming customer contracts and prepare a planned large funding round. Company explained the new funding would be used to bring its first commercial product to market and prepared for a large funding round. What are you going to need the planned large funding round for if you're using that to take it to market? Since its founding, Polaris has been developing progressively larger prototypes to validate key technologies and operational concepts. The company is currently working on 2 demonstrators, Mirror 1 and Mirror 3, or Mirror 2 and Mirror 3, excuse me. Each vehicle measures approximately 5 meters in length and is equipped with jet turbines for takeoff and landing, as well as one of the company's in-house developed AS-1 Aerospike rocket engines for hypersonic flight. Ooh, Navy SEALs. Take the marketing to market. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it, Ryan, and I'm not showing it, dude. I don't know where that image came from, and I don't want to know where that image came from. We're not showing that. In November of 2024, the company completed the first in-flight ignition of its Aerospike engine, which was integrated into the Mirror 2 demonstrator. The LOX kerosene-fueled AS-1 rocket engine is capable of producing 1 kilonewton of thrust. That's pretty good for a small demonstrator engine. Yeah, it's already causing drama. Yeah, that's cool, man. Good. Space planes are cool. I like space planes. I like that space plane. That space plane is the coolest. You know why? Because it made it into space. X-37B is pretty cool, too. Dream Chaser might be cool someday whenever they, decide that they want to launch that. Imagine someone finishing their NASA contract. That'd be kind of cool. Have you been monitoring the situation? Yesterday, when I was in bed on the heating pad, we monitored. I did a lot of situational monitoring. I love that. That's the thing. Well, we're monitoring the situation. What situation are we monitoring? Don't know. We're monitoring the situation. Yeah. I will be monitoring the situation after this stream. Situation inside of the eyes has been monitored. Guys, I don't want to talk about it, man. I really don't. Yeah, we might be at war in like the next hour or so, and I don't. Can we talk about space, please? It's such a good meme. Yeah, no, see, that's that guy over there. He wasn't monitoring the situation. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not, I don't want to talk about that. Here, check this out. More funding. But yes, I have been monitoring the situation, but I don't want to do it on stream. I'm not going to talk about it here. You're the one talking about it. Now you're talking about it, Mutter. Oh, now you're talking about it, Mutter. Now what? Anyway, this is coming from Matej Cernasek. I don't know who this is. He is developing the central nervous system for maritime autonomy. Okay. I'm excited to announce our $10 million fundraise. Currently in DC, we're meeting with some awesome folks on Capitol Hill and reflecting on how far we've come. Just a year ago, Alex Chu and I were bootstrapping our first prototype in a garage. Now we're announcing our $10 million fundraising round led by First Round, okay? Also Capital, Long Journey Venture, all these venture capital people participated. I just want to give a huge shout out to our amazing team. We hired some of the top engineers and scientists to support our mission. Adrena Meisner is building an AI-powered distributed maritime sensing network for persistent autonomous awareness from surface to seabed. Time to turn the ocean into the world's largest sensor network. Oh, these guys are ex SpaceX. I got it. SpaceX alumni founded startup, raised $10 million in 36 hours. Well, that's pretty neat. Well, that's pretty neat. I mean, that really shows that, like, you go to work for SpaceX, and that's insane to have on your resume. That's pretty damn good to have on your resume, right? And then it shows just the commercial base that they're actually building. not like SpaceX themselves, like actually building out like more rockets and whatnot, but they're rebuilding generational industrial aerospace talent across the board. You work at SpaceX for 5 years as an engineer, you're going to learn a ton. Now you're an engineer that knows about aerospace. Now you can go start your own company. It's growing. It's basically like technical. It's basically SpaceX is basic at this point. Like they're working like a university almost. Like it's paying dividends, right? Oh, if you worked at SpaceX, you really know what you're doing, right? Which I think is super cool. It's rebuilding a generational knowledge base that was pretty much lost, you know, at the end of the shuttle program. And even before that, you know, at the end of the Apollo program. You know, we have a whole new crop of spaceflight entrepreneurs all over the place. From these guys to like Palmer Luckey, I guess, would be a good example. That's not really SpaceX, it's Facebook, but you get the idea. Anduril's pretty cool, though, right? It used to be the same, say, with Lockheed or Boeing. Yeah, that's right. Now you're seeing it with SpaceX. Like, look at Tom Mueller with Impulse Space, right? He was ex-SpaceX, right? Hans Koenigsmann's a consultant all over the place for all different types of projects. He's a consultant for Vast. This is, I mean, it's great, guys. You're seeing a cottage industry essentially form here for commercial spaceflight. Oh, speaking of commercial spaceflight, nobody, absolutely nobody, Honda. Yeah, the car company. Yeah, we can make rockets. Why can't we? Dude. Yo, that's really good. That's real good. That's, wow, for a first try, that's insane. That's really good. Whoa. So Honda just decided to post today that I guess they've been working on, yeah, successful takeoff and landing of experimental reusable rocket, experimental vehicle. Today, Honda conducted its first takeoff and landing experiment at an altitude of 300 meters using a reusable rocket prototype developed in-house. With this success, we have made progress in the research of reusable rockets. We will continue to take on new challenges. I guess I gotta follow Honda now. Dude, that's superbly impressive. For a first attempt, for your first rocket ever, making it do that, that's really impressive. Like, I'm not even, I have no words. That's super cool. Look, it's got like retractable landing gear and retractable grid fins and stuff. Like, all right. Who did they hire? I don't know, man. I don't know. Honda, this isn't Honda's first soiree into the aerospace industry, though. Graham, that's the thing. VTech jokes in 3, 2, 1. Good thing about that, Turbo. Oh, okay. That is seriously impressive for a first attempt. Like, but that's the thing. Honda has, this isn't the first time Honda's gotten into the aerospace industry. They have the Honda Jet, which is I mean, not a lot of people know that Honda makes business jets. They absolutely do. And they're really not bad from what I understand. I've never seen one. Never flown in one in Flight Simulator, never even sniffed one. I don't know. Apparently they're really good. Honda Aero has existed since 2004, building engines for airplane, HF-120 turbofan together with GE. There you go. Yeah, its tail number is 420. So I must say that is superbly impressive for a first attempt. Like getting the landing legs to fold up and retract and the grid fins to pop open and pop close. I mean, guys, look at how stable this thing is. That's really good. Like, really good. That's insane, man. That is absurd stability for a first try. That's really impressive. Like, and I'm saying that as a Ford guy. I like Ford. But Ford ain't making no rockets, so that's actually super cool. The engine mounting on the Honda Jet is rather cool. All the benefits of top rear-mounted engines, but without the noise and ice ingestion problems. Yeah, it's because they're mounted on the wings, right? Yeah. Do ICBMs go into space? Yeah, farm way into space. ICBMs have an extremely high apogee. Very high. Why? Why would you want a high apogee with an ICBM? You want to go as fast as possible, dude. You don't want nobody hitting that thing, right? You fly in on a shallow re-entry trajectory, they'll see you coming. ICBMs don't so much launch like across the globe. ICBMs just go straight up. Well, it's not exactly straight up, but they go pretty straight up, right? We're talking like 1,000-kilometer apogee, or 1,600 miles, or no, 600 miles up. Like, or actually more than that. It's more like 6,000 miles, right? They're way up there. They go way up. The planet rotates underneath, and they come down straight through the atmosphere at the highest possible speed. The higher the apogee it is, the higher the speed, the entry speed is going to be. And if you have MIRVs, and then it gets real fun from there. Good luck hitting that. They're coming in at 23,000 miles an hour. Have fun with that. So yes, ICBMs go way into space. They go further into space than human-rated spacecraft, save the Saturn V. What was that math again? Bro, don't worry about it. My back hurts, okay? I'm using that excuse while I can, all right? Do you know about the fractional orbital bombardment system? No, I don't. Any idea what the chemistry is for the propellants? I don't know what this thing is using, Will. Does anybody know? Like, is that information out there? I have no idea what that thing's using. It's something with liquid oxygen. We know there's cryogenic propellants, dude, because it vents down when it lands. Two vents? No way. If that's hydrolox, I will lose my mind. What? The Kerbal VOD got demonetized? How? What? It was all the AI music. How was... Really? Who claimed it? What do you want? Blue Monday? Blue Monday. Oh, we looked at the Kerbal Colonies trailer. That's what did it. Damn. Yeah, the damn trailer. All right, cool. I got it. All good. Don't worry about it. Never mind. That's my fault. Okay. Let me see this. What is this link? Let's use this. That's just a synchronized side-by-side. What do we got here? Denied. Honda R&D Company Limited, a research company subsidiary of Honda Motors, today conducted a launch and landing test with an experimental rocket developed independently by Honda. This test marked the first launch and landing test conducted by Honda with an aims to demonstrate key technologies essential for rocket reusability, such as flight stability during ascent and descent, as well as landing capability. Through the successful test, Honda achieved its intended rocket behaviors for the launch and landing. Dude, that's, like I said, that is superbly impressive for what it is. That's really, really good. I'm actually kind of flabbergasted that they got that right for their first time. Is Hallengar now permabanned? Yeah. Section 3-2. Honda Newsroom. Bro, I'm all about that. I actually, for what it's worth, dudes, I actually like Hondas. Honda makes amazing engines. Their transmissions are... But I had Hondas growing up, dude. I had a 2002 Accord Coupe, super reliable car until the transmission went. Then it wasn't a reliable car. But the motor was great. Section 3-1-3-2. This rocket was initiated a proposal made by young Honda engineers who wanted to build a small rocket utilizing core technologies such as combustion and control technologies that Honda has amassed through development of various products. Artificial satellites are indispensable for various purposes, including observation of the global environment. However, currently there are not enough rockets to meet demand for satellite launches. To address this issue, Honda is developing a small rocket with the goal to use it as a launch vehicle for small low Earth orbit satellites. Moreover, Honda is conducting research with the assumption to make its rocket reusable by enabling at least some of the rocket components to land back on Earth after launching. For this challenge, Honda will strive to utilize control and guidance technology Honda has amassed through development of automated driving technologies. It's relative navigation too? No way. What does Honda's autopilot tech use? Tell me that's LiDAR. Because if that's relative, holy crap, dude. Holy crap. That's really impressive. Wow. More space junk. Yeah, whatever. Anything about the propellants? Dude, I'm telling you, this thing's gotta be, it's gotta be fully cryogenic. Honda's radar distancing, LiDAR mapping, and visual line and signage detection. Oh, interesting. Here, let's just find oxygen. Hydrogen. Oh, we got a hit. Where? Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Where is it? Okay. No. Yeah, it's the search query is picking up here. Methane. Huh. That's burning pretty clear, dude, and I'm pretty sure that double vents right here pointing in different directions, that might be hydrolox, man. I mean, that flame is pretty damn clear. It's definitely too clear for kerolox. We know it's not kerosene. Yeah, Fluffy, I'm getting there. Dude. That is insanely smooth for a first attempt. They made this out of pre-existing technologies. What the heck is Honda cooking up? That's ridiculous. Look at that thing. Dude, that's like New Shepard stable. How does it get fueled in the first place? I don't know. I don't see any refueling paraphernalia unless the fuel line goes through the landing leg. Not blue enough for Methalox. No. And it's two. Oh, yeah, it's double engines, by the way. It's got two. There's two motors in there. How tall is it? I'm betting on Hydrolox makes you think of the old DCX clip removes. That's, dude, that looks like Hydrolox, man. That's what that looks like to me, Kyron. That's, damn, is that impressive? Like, I ain't even mad. That's insane, man. ChatGPT says it could be Carolox. Yeah, I mean, honestly the plume isn't dirty enough for Carolox, man. Very clear plume. If they got this down with Hydrolox, I'd watch out. I'd be like, damn, that's pretty impressive. And in terms of size, yeah, I have the picture, that same picture over here. I'll show you. See, it's not a small prototype, but it's not a big one either. I bet they developed their own propellant. Well, I mean, part of the reason you accidentally tagged NSF. Nice. Part of the reason why I think it's hydrogen is because Japan is, Toyota and Honda went heavy into hydrogen cars, thinking that was going to carry on and catch on instead of electric. So Japan does have hydrogen tech, like a lot of hydrogen tech. That's a pretty damn good demonstrator, dude. It's not very big. I don't know, probably 3 to 4 stories tall. Maybe you guys are saying 19, 20 feet. I mean, they did say it's, it was the other article. There were dimensions given. Or maybe it was this one. I don't know. Sorry. There we go. 6.3 meters in length. So it's about 20 feet. 20 feet, 85 centimeters in diameter, 900 kilograms dry weight, 1,300 wet. Ooh, that's a really bad mass fraction. It's the landing gear and the fins. The landing gear and the fins take up way too much mass for this design. See last, please. What is your last? Funny enough, it reminds you of Zogdor. Yeah, I see it. For sure. Still cool, though. Good for them. Super impressive. That's really neat, man. Wish them all the best. I'm sorry, I just gotta see that thing do that thing. What the hell? I'm flabbergasted from the stability. That is really, really not easy to do that. They look like Kerbal landings. They do look like Kerbal landing legs. The mass fraction is the grid fins, dude. It's grid fins and the landing legs, but yeah. The tanks are only right here. Yeah, the grid fin's retracted, dude. Look. It's just a video reversed. I'm not clicking on that thousands. Yeah, that picture is definitely leaked, and I'm definitely not showing that on stream. I don't need SpaceX pissed at me. Yep, you can click on that link all you want. I'm not touching that one. I'm not showing it on stream. Ship 34 had a little bit of an issue. It's gone. Oh, look. The tweet got deleted. See? Dude, if you screw up, they'll let you know. They'll let you know. What was the tweet? So apparently, it's not anything that we didn't know. It was just a picture of something that... Apparently, it was of Ship 34 when the engine blew off the back. No, it's not. There's just a typo in the link. Oh. Yeah, I'm not showing it. You guys can go look at that, but I'm not showing it on stream. I'm not doing that. There's a... Yeah. All right. So, check this out, dudes. Look. Stoke posted this, and it looks like they're really doing some heavy work out at Complex 14. Stoke is building their Nova launch pad out at Slick. Well, it's not Slick. It's LC-14, Launch Complex 14 down at the Cape. That's on Missile Row. LC-14 was the pad that Mercury Atlas took off from. That's where the first American launched into orbit. John Glenn launched off of that pad right there, which is really, 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 really freaking cool. Makes me happy to see all these pads operational. Yeah, that, I mean, you could see from the rebar and everything, and they have a service tower apparently that this is going to take a second to... They're a little ways out from flying the Nova rocket, but yeah, super cool. Superbly cool, might I add. For emphasis. All right, next bit here is coming from Firefly Aerospace. This is their Eclipse rocket, so that's MLV, previously named MLV, or unnamed MLV. This is the Eclipse rocket. Eclipse is coming together. Our structures team performed a fit check of the first stage propellant tanks. Once complete, we'll send it to the test stand before finishing final integration and shipping to Wallops for launch. Wait, launch? Dude, look at these bad melon farmers, dude. That guy's beard game is on point. That's badass, man. Wow. They are making some progress, huh? Can we get NSF to add a few targets during their Florida flyovers? Oh, believe me, dude. They know. You'll understand what that means in good time. Aqualix, they know. They know to point the cameras towards Missile Row, dude. Don't worry. They know. I can't say anymore. Sorry. Sorry. They know. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Is Firefly making the whole Eclipse rocket themselves with Northrop funding it? It's... Yes. No. I don't think they're building the second stage for it. No, I think... You know what? I have no idea. Chat, help me out. No, it was a newer image, Guy Fox. It showed a picture of the engine that flew out. Yeah, it was a new picture. Oh. Oh, no. Baron. No. 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 That's that's yeah, you're not supposed to touch those for multiple reasons. My bad, sorry. It was too cool to not touch. I mean, that's fair, but yeah, that did that probably smelled terrific. But I mean, the other thing is that you really don't want to touch those when it's cold either, because then your print in your hand is going to make it rust. If I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, doing that is not good for it. Like even if you touch it when it's cold, you should, I mean, well, you shouldn't touch it when it's cold. You shouldn't touch it at all. You should just don't touch the motor, okay? Or about 700 reasons. Yeah, right. Could have been the second. I don't think Buddy touched it when it was hot. I think he touched it when it was cold. But also, if you touched it when it's hot, you'd see that there'd be some burn marks where there was some skin that burned off. Can you lick it instead? Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. What about ships? Can you touch that? I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't care, Baron. Yeah, I don't care. So let's see, what else do we got here? So ULA is returning its Atlas V to the VIF today, presumably to address the gaseous nitrogen purge line issue. Yep, they moved KAO2 back to the vehicle integration facility, so that's going to be off the table for a little while. Don't touch the rocket either, okay? Or the boats. Don't touch the boats. Don't worry, it was his left hand. He's all right now. My bad math thinks Honda was using RP1 and LOX because the specific impulse was between 220 and 275. Just don't touch anything. Is it heavy? Yes. Then it's probably expensive. Put it back. Yeah, with Aqualex, I think that's generally a good rule of thumb with anyone that's around or near or flying on an airplane. Just don't touch it. Just don't. To touch the seat belt. That's about it. And maybe the chair. Stretch my back. Oh, man. This sucks. I mean, maybe, Sea Kraken, you can get crappy specific impulse if you don't get your feed rates right with hydrolox. I mean, look at Chinese rockets. They're like, oh yeah, we have hydrolox. Make like 275 specific impulse with hydrolox. It's like, seriously, look it up. Yeah, look. It's not 275, but look, YF77 hydrolox motor used in Long March 5 with 316 second specific impulse. Yeah, 428 vacuum is not bad, but 316 sea level is. Oh. That's Long March 5's core stage. Now Long March 5. Now Long March 5. Yeah, 316. I mean, it's an upper stage optimized nozzle. The problem is they're using an upper stage optimized nozzle down here as a core stage. So, you know, 316 Pacific Impulse. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Doesn't Long March 5 have, what is the, hold on. We've never really done a dive into this because I don't like these rockets, but it's definitely a strange amalgam. Yeah, so they have Carolox boosters with 2 YF-100s. That's an RD-191, man. That's an RD-191. It's okay. 335, 300, 177. Is it oxygen rich? Hold on. Yeah, it's an oxygen. Yeah, dude, it's an RD-191. That's funny. It's a Russian engine. Seriously, it's just an RD-191. And I love it. It doesn't compare it at all. You were expecting a non-knockoff from China. Well, the YF-77 really isn't like anything. This thing, the one that I just showed you, it's not. That's not really like anything. That's not Russian. This thing is I mean, it's probably rip-off. It's from something else. Either that or they developed it in-house. I have no idea. I don't really care either. Yeah, the YF-77 is homegrown. Yeah, that's what I mean. If I had to guess, it's probably... It looks somewhat similar to an RS-68, but it's similar. It looks similar to an RS-68 because it's a gas generator hydrolox engine it's an open cycle gas generator hydrolox, which is it's the same type of motor as an RS-88 or RS-68. RS-88 is an RS-88 is a hypergolic abort engine. On a side note. Based on principles from RS-68 and Vulcan. Wait, what? Really? Did it say that somewhere? Look up. Nope, that's just the ceiling. It's a similar arrangement to Vulcan on Ariane 5 and the LE-7 on the H2. Nah, but some people found a lot of commonalities. It very...
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Long March 5th.
Hi, Space Pope. Look up, same energy as type math. I did that on purpose. Yeah, I definitely see Vulcan there. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I see what they're doing. It's not exactly, but... Not stating intent, just energy. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because they didn't get all the secret sauce from Vulcan because 316 specific impulse at sea level with a hydrogen engine is pretty bad. It's pretty crappy, actually. Long March 5 has two variants. Long March 5 that's made for lunar and Mars missions, and then Long March 5B Leo with no third stage that actually uses the core stage to push the payload to Leo. Bad side is that the core stage, which is 25 tons, gets left on orbit. Yeah, and it almost hit New York the last time they launched the space station module. Yeah, I know. Don't worry, nobody cared, and it missed. It missed, and nobody cared, and it came down in some village in Africa. Yeah, so no one cared, which is great. That's lovely. Yeah, that's a true story. That happened. Seriously, it re-entered over New York. It almost landed in New York City. Couple meters a second difference in velocity, it comes down to New York instead of West Africa. Yeah, that's correct, Lava. The track was over New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. Yeah. Yeah, great. Why did they copy everything? Because I don't know. Because they suck. I don't know. Couldn't tell you, man. I remember the footage. The fuel line was inside of a house. Yeah, Baron. That's right. But because it came down in Africa, no one cared. So, that's great. The Vulcan 2 engine has 318 second specific impulse. Interesting. What I'm trying to say is get on our level, dude. Get on our level. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Hmm. 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 Ooh. Oh, yeah. Hmm. No, RS-25. Oh, yeah. It's 366 second sea level, not hugely above. You think that a 40 second difference in burn time, specific impulse, is not a lot? That's a big difference, Funky Bot. That's a huge difference. I know it doesn't see. It's like, what? It's only 40 seconds, dude. The difference there is like a car getting 30 miles to gallon, 30 miles to the gallon versus 60 miles to the gallon. Rocket stuff isn't linear like that, dude. I mean, specific impulse kinda is, but it's not. Mind if you explain to me the physical reason why engine efficiency is lower at sea level? It's the expansion ratio that has a lot to do with it. It's the nozzle design, Sea Kraken. Is it mainly the atmosphere taking the energy away, or is there something else? Like I said, it's your expansion ratio. Your expansion ratio has a lot to do with it. Yeah, Tesla Max, I think that's a fair position. Yeah, for sure. The RL10 would be very bad at sea level. The RS-25 is almost an SSTO engine. But look up RL10A5s, Yuri. Look up RL10A5s, the ones that they put in DCX. Check the efficiency there. Second of all, what, in Vulcan isn't? Vulcan and a YF-77 aren't SSTO engines? What's the distinction here? Attachable boosters? Because all three of them have that. What is our distinction here? I'm comparing very similar classes of boosters to each other, dude. What's the distinction here? You can make the same argument with a Vulcan engine or a YF-77, but you can't because they suck. 3/16 second specific impulse. Woof. Well, the RS-25 was developed to be costly but reusable, and the other engines are expendable. Oh, okay. Explain yourself, Yuri. Explain yourself. I want to hear what the cope is with this thing then. What copium do we got for the RD-0120 then, pal? Soviets could make a rocket engine, just saying. They're pretty freaking good at it. What's the cope reason here? It's not an SSTO engine. Yeah, it pretty much is. It's not reusable. It's the Energia core stage motor. Explain yourself. For sure, Encloix. Yeah. 318 specific impulse for Vulcan. Vulcan 2.1 is 343 and 341, so it's a big improvement. Nice. The cope is I'm right and you're wrong. EJRD-0120 was arguably better, but it's still a copy of an RS-25. It's because the RS-25 is the most goated rocket engine of all time. I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is, guys, a bird just ate the camera on Space at Starbase Live. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Did you hear that? I'm kidding for what it's worth, guys. I'm just messing around. But also, shuttle supremacy, okay? Shuttle supremacy. Not the birds! Ah! Shuttle supremacy. Look at, would you just look at it? Would you just look at shuttle supremacy? Right? Shuttle supremacy. Best Hydrolox engine ever made. Best reusable vehicle ever designed. Shuttle supremacy. You get your upper stage engines back. Shuttle supremacy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Starship doesn't work is the end of that sentence. Shuttle supremacy. Shuttle supremacy. What was that about, a bird eating a camera? No, it just, there's a bird close to one of NSF's cameras and it made a very funny noise right when I was about to deliver a punchline to a joke. So I was like, guess what? And it was like, boop, 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 you know. Answer me this about the RL-10A5 specific impulse at sea. 316 second specific impulse. It's an expander cycle. It should be like that. You got homeboys out here all over the world making gas generator open cycle Hydrolox engines that make 316 specific impulse and 318 specific impulse at sea level. Bruh. Cope and inefficiency seed. Sorry, I've been on X too much. I've been monitoring too many situations. 318 is also a good motor. I have one in my car. L plus inefficient plus ratio. Oh, dude. Baron, I knew someone was going to bring this thing up. Yuri, you ever seen this motor, dude? You ever seen this thing? You ever heard about the M1? The M1 is 1960s NASA looking at a Saturn V first stage engine and going, that F1's a really nice motor. What if we made it run off hydrogen instead? Be a really good upper stage engine. Yeah, we should do that. Let's do that. That's what the M1 is. Use the M1. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. The rocket you linked up, dude, had an M1 in it, man. That's right. Dude, this thing was an absolute unit. And they started making them, too, which is just woof. All right, you see this picture? That is a Hydrolox. It's a Saturn V F1 engine. So it's an F1 engine that's designed to run on hydrolox with a much bigger nozzle. Look at the dudes at the front of the picture. See the dudes standing right there? That's the size of the M1 or the M1 engine. Look at that thing. Oh, that would have been sick. Yeah, here's a better picture. Thank you. What would they use that on at first? Nova second stage. Yeah, Nova second stage. 5 of them in the second stage on Nova. Dude. 5 of them. What the balls, man? With a Nova rocket, a Saturn V S2 is your 3rd stage. Can you imagine how much you could throw to the moon with a Nova? That's unreal. Uh-oh, the gear jammer's back on Starbase Live. Look. Look at the gear jammer. Oh, that truck is sick. Look at that thing. The gear jammer. That thing is awesome. I see that truck driving around Starbase all the time. Frickin' gear jammer, dude. How's that nozzle not vibrating out of the earth? Oh, I have no idea. Sorry, squirrel moment. Squirrel! I love the gear jammer. That's not what that truck is called. That just looks like something out of Mad Max. That's why I call it gear jammer. It's the George Thorogood song. All right, cool. Thunderdome? Yeah, all right, sweet. Some of you got it. Page 18 for the cycle. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Yeah, see, switching an F1 motor to Hydrolox, you would need dual impellers. With Hydrolox, it's really hard to make a single shaft impeller system. And okay, like completely, banter aside, Vulcan, YF77, even the shuttle motor, RD0120, they all use dual impellers, and nothing is on a single turbo shaft because the differential RPM. You need the hydrogen one to spin a lot faster than your liquid oxygen one because you got to move hydrogen quicker. Yeah, this is about as simple as you can get, man. 6.9 megapascal sucks. Wow. Wait. Where does it say that? Yeah, porous coaxial injector. Dude, it's an M1. It's an M1 that runs off hydrogen. Bruh. Oh, look at the injector. Oh, that is a huge injector plate, man. Look at the size of the damn injector, dude. It's like the size of a coffee table. I would really like an M1 injector plate coffee table. If anybody out there knows anybody, just, let me know. 69 bar chamber pressure. Yeah, that's not great, dude. Pump number stage 8 plus inducer. Transition speed 12,960. Oh. $74,000 shaft horsepower. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, 74,000 horse. High tar coffee table. Yeah. It's a coaxial injector, Aqualex. That ain't anything. It's nothing new. Bro, my shower head has a more complicated injector design than that. That's actually low compared to the F1. Interesting. Huh. I would guess it's lower because of hydrogen. There's your impellers. Look. You see the difference? The other one, the LOX turbo pump needs 24,000 horse. The hydrogen one needs 74,000 horse. See what I'm saying? That's why you don't have a single impeller or a single shaft impeller system for hydrogen. It's really difficult. You could either do what like an RL10 did and gear it and put a gearbox on your rocket engine. Yes, the RL10 has a transmission on it. It's a one-speed transmission, but it's a transmission. That's how they made up for that. Or you could just have two big honking gas generators, which seems to be what they did here. Now, what are we talking about here? Let me see. Nominal point of operation, pressurized delta P in PSI. Yeah. Weight flow in pounds a second. Nominal operation. Wait, they made the gas generators for these? They made the test stand for this? Rust chamber and gas generator test. Me right now. Me right now. Just it's Dedra face. If you know, you know. Spoilers. Ain't no spoilers. Talk about nothing. He got canceled for the shuttle. Seriously, though, where are these test stands? Now I need to look. Yep. Test stand K2. M1 test stands K3 and K4. Now that's a render. I don't think they made that. Marshall. That's the project management structure. It's what it's called, Coltec. It's called a render. Once upon a time, renders were 2D. Yeah, it's so you wanted to render something, you wanted to render plans, have, you know, go to an artist and say, draw this at a 3/4 view, render this at 3/4 view. Then there you go. That is a render. That's the name for it. All right. Where was this all supposed to be? Lewis Research Center in Cleveland. Wait. Walter Dankoff. Pretty awesome name. I'm reading. Give me a second. Nice. Cool. Dude. Trying to find it. I'm trying to find where these test stands would have been. All right, let's go looking. I'm going to guess Marshall. They have a very good looking non-functional model of the M1 and the RO engine mod for KSP. Clearer pictures? Oh. That turbine assembly is insane, Mutter. We're getting that one too. Bro. Dude. Look at the size of that thing. Now, part of the reason I wanted to check this out is one, I was looking to get a little annoyed. And no, I want to see if, it looks like they built some of those test stands and I don't know where they are. I want to figure out where they are. Second of all, look at that engine. Now, you can make engines, you can make bigger rocket engines. The thing is that rockets don't scale, they don't scale very well in terms of difficulty. Like, building an engine that's 2 times the size, right, is not as easy. It's not twofold difficulty just because it's 2 times the size. You can build an engine that's twice the size of another engine. I mean, building it by using size as your metric probably isn't the right move, but like SpaceX could double the size of the Raptor. That does not mean it would be 2 times as difficult. It would probably be 6 times as difficult. The bigger you go with this stuff, the big problem is propellant feeds, getting something to move all that propellant into that rocket engine all at once. Now, SpaceX didn't opt to make a bigger engine. SpaceX opted to make a smaller engine and have it deliver more fuel with a gas-gas combustion cycle. So it's full flow stage combustion. Their solution was move a lot more fuel into a smaller rocket engine and make it be able to withstand insanely high chamber pressure, right? That's because SpaceX has a stakeholder expectation of mass producing the motors. So they wanted to keep them small and easy to move around. That's why Raptor is apparently like tiny. That's why Raptor isn't as big as that. I mean, Vector is a little different, but you get the idea, right? Where are the test stands for this thing, Baron? Is it at Marshall? I want to know where it is. Now, with that all being said, you could probably take Raptor's turbo pumps and probably fit that on this. It'll probably work. They're in California. Scroll down. Oh, if it's Aerojet, it would have been Canoga Park, if I'm remembering right. Dude, there's Nova right there. 385,000 pounds to Leo. So 175 metric ton throw weight, dude. Okay. All right. Sure. I mean, wait, what is this? What is that? What's that? What is this supposed to? Is that an arrow spike? What is this? What is that supposed to be? That's a giant Saturn-derived aerospike motor that moves 1 million pounds. That's 500. Well, it's closer to 485 tons. I think 485 tons. Throw. All right. 18 M1s in the first stage. What? Actually, wait a minute. In this design here, uprated F1 engine in second and third stages, all stages lengthen. Oh, they were going to make it taller. And then this one would have been Nova right here. New first stage with 7 M1 in the second and third stages. Holy shnikes. That's insane, man. Why didn't we do that? We had to build the space shuttle or something. Can you imagine that? 1.5 million pounds of thrust from a Hydrolox engine. 1,000 psi chamber pressure. All right. So 1.5 million pounds of thrust is 6,700 kilonewtons, give or take. It's somewhere in there. And then 1,000 divided by 14.7 is, yeah, like you guys were saying, 68 bar. That's not very good. That's really kind of crappy. But I think that has a lot to do with the combustion chamber geometry of the motor. But holy, dude. What's the chamber pressure of a Raptor? 300. Dude, it's as big as a Gemini capsule. And wait a minute. Frick the Gemini capsule. They made part... Ugh! Bro, hand machined? You've got to be kidding me. Look at, dude, look. Dude, look at... Look at the turbine. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 6. 8-stage axial gas generator. Frick you, dude. We were robbed. We were robbed so hard, dude. It's so uncool. Oh, I've seen it. Part of it was tested at Aerojet Rocketdyne Sacramento facility in California, and other parts in the Arnold Engineering and Development Center in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Now Arnold Air Force Base, where the lunar module engine was tested. See last. I have the NTRS open. Oclex. We'll finish our space news in a sec. Dude. So that's a mandrel right there. That's a mandrel. That's how they assembled the motors. So see all the, if those look like a bunch of little pipes that are wrapped around the mandrel, that's exactly what it is. That's how they made cooling channels back in the day. They took a bunch of little tiny pipes, bent a pipe in the shape of a rocket engine, and then stacked them all the way around the mandrel, and then tightened them down with these clamps right here. That's how they did. That's how they, and then brazed them together. They lead brazed them together. That's actually, I don't know if they used lead for sure. I don't think they did. The motor got really hot, but they brazed them together. Yep, it's made like a Wild West barrel. With, you know, like the barrel with the planks of wood that has the iron clamps. That's the same thing. That's how they manufactured cooling channels back in the day. Nowadays you could do that with a CNC machine. You can have milled copper channels. RL10 still does this to this day, but they're phasing it out. They are phasing it out for 3D printing. There's that injector plate picture. Look at the size of the injector head. You've got to be kidding me. That thing is huge. So you guys want a little bit of perspective. A space shuttle main engine's injector is like this size. It's like the size of this part right here. It's not nearly as big. How do they deal with the change in circumference near the nozzle end? The pipes would move away from each other. The clamps would be my guess. Hurtful, either that or changing the geometry of the pipe. So if it's like a perfect circle, or like at the top, it's kind of like an ellipse, and then at the bottom, it's a perfect circle to account for the expansion. I think that's how they did it. I think. You can show this. It's public.
After the assembly is placed over a mandrel, the manifolds and bands can be attached. Silver wire is laid in for furnace brazing.
They did braze them. Yeah, see, they brazed the pipes together. RL-10s were made like that until very recently, guys. In fact, some of them probably are. Like the Atlas, the RL-10s that they're using for Atlas 5, they're made like that. Still. And, they did the brazing in a furnace.
Once brazed, the chamber undergoes testing to assure trouble-free operation.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Liquid nitrogen is forced through the chamber to perform thermal shock tests. Pressurized with gaseous nitrogen, the chamber is checked for leaks.
How are we going to check it for leaks? Dip it in water. All right. I love 1960s ingenuity, dude. How are you going to test for leaks? Dip it in water. Huh? You can do that? Yeah. Just do it. You can restart the video. All right. All right. That's how you find slow leaks in a tire. There you go, man. Why is 1960s engineering so simple? Because they didn't have the tools. They didn't have a computer to make it work. You got to figure out. That's what I mean, Nova. Were you here the other day, dude, when I was saying, like, if I started a machine shop, I would bring in people as apprentices, right? And they would have to learn how to draft out parts manually and then hand machine them. And only then would you move to using a CNC machine. Yes, that would cost me money. I get it. But here's the thing. Just like in Kerbal, where we don't always have the part that we need, right? Just like in KSP, where we don't have that part. We don't have the exact part that we need. You got to make it. That's the type of mentality that I like to teach. You don't have it? Figure it the frick out. Because that's what the Apollo engineers in the 60s were like. That's what everyone was like in the 60s. Everybody thought this way because they didn't have a computer to solve all their problems for them. Figure it the frick out. Figure out another way. I love it. Dude, they're so goddamn resourceful. It's so cool. And look, they made the Saturn V and RL-10s and F1s and M1s. Are you going to get a Destin's grill scrubber? Yeah. Yeah, I should.
The RL-10 rocket engine
are RL-10s.
Power plant for the Centaur and Saturn is the result of years of research and development. The highest performance engine built in the free world using safe, reliable, and dependable hydrogen.
Still is to this day. Fun fact.
To maintain the high degree of reliability of the RL-10, vital parts are assembled under stringent laboratory conditions.
No FOD, baby.
Following a typical engine through its paces,
there you go. Hurtful. Look. What the actual frick?
After the assembly is placed over a mandrel, the manifolds and bands can be attached. Silver wire is laid in for furnace brazing.
There's your brazing.
Placed in a retort, the chamber is readied for the furnace.
What'd you call me? Yeah, that's right, Nova. RL-10s were made as lunar landing engines. That was their original purpose, to be a lander engine for the moon. And then they were like, oh crap, this is a disgustingly good upper stage engine. We should just use it for that. And then they did. And then they never used it for a lander engine ever again. The reason why they never used it for a lunar lander engine Now, it wasn't just because it was a good upper stage engine. It was because they figured out that hydrogen boils off over time. They figured out, they ran into the boil-off problem. And remember, Apollo needed to be done quick. So instead of trying to solve the boil-off problem, they switched in the very early parts of the Apollo program, they switched to making the LEM hypergolic because it was simpler. And it was off the shelf at the time.
Once brazed, the chamber undergoes testing to assure trouble-free operation.
Retort, a container or furnace for carrying out a chemical process on a larger industrial scale. Till. I found some of my dad's old notes. It was full of acronyms. I'll figure it out. It was full of IFIO. Nice.
Liquid nitrogen is forced through the chamber to perform thermal shock tests.
I also want to add that there's no way they're dipping that in water. I'd dip it in oil or something that's not going to react with the metal. But also
Pressurized with gaseous nitrogen, the chamber is checked for leaks.
that might be water. It looks like water.
The inspected subassembly is dried out in a special oven.
It was water.
Final
Could have been
chamber
mineral
assembly
oil.
is completed with
That's what I would have dipped it in. I wouldn't have dipped this thing in water. That's really bad for it. Even if it was like, it could have been distilled water. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, could have been distilled. But they definitely dried it, so it's probably deionized distilled water. That doesn't react. There you go.
with the installation of the injector.
There's your injector plate.
A special jig is lowered to accurately align the injector.
Is that rope for the injector alignment jig? Is that rope and a couple of D-clamps? Yeah, that's rope. Okay. Doesn't have to be complicated, homies. It's a couple of D-rings right there. And some rope. Dude, if I was doing a machine shop, we'd be doing stuff like that. Just rope. Why? Why use steel cable? Why use anything? Just rope. It's fine. Name one thing you're gonna need a stupid rope for. Special jig is good eyeballs. Yep. Tom Stafford passed away today. Charles Bronson always has some rope. Look at it. I like
And
things
the
that
chamber goes for final machining prior to assembly of the complete engine.
I like things that spin. So what that thing is doing is removing any excess metal from the manifold castings. That's what that is. It's trying to make the engine as light as possible.
On the assembly floor, all parts come together. Fuel lines, valves, turbo pumps are brought from clean rooms, assembled, installed, and inspected. Multiple inspections of each component and subassembly assures maximum reliability. Ready for action, the completed engine must undergo the test of firing. The RL-10 is made ready for transport to the test site.
How are we going to safely transport it? Put a tarp over it.
The operating principle of the RL-10 can best be shown by this simple diagram.
Expander cycle.
Hydrogen at 37 degrees Rankine, minus 423 degrees Fahrenheit, enters through the inlet shutoff valve, passes through the first stage pump into the second stage pump, where it is discharged at 1,000 pounds per square inch. Then it passes through the cooling jacket manifold, through half of the tubes, through the turnaround manifold, back through the long tubes, to the exit manifold, and through the venturi into the turbine. At this point, the hydrogen is now gas at 850 pounds per square inch and 350 degrees Rankine, minus 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and provides the power to drive the hydrogen and oxygen pumps.
Yep.
It then goes through the main shutoff valve into the injector and to the combustion chamber. Drawn in through the single-stage oxygen pump, oxygen flows through the inlet valve directly through the mixture ratio control valve into the injector to combine with the hydrogen in the chamber.
Everybody got that?
The engine itself is as simple as the diagram. To demonstrate, hydrogen enters at this point, flows through the first stage pump, into the second stage pump, passes through the cooling jacket manifold, down through half the tubes, to the turnaround manifold, up the long tubes, collected at the exit manifold, through the venturi into the turbine.
You guys see the Venturi right there? It looks like a dirt bike exhaust, doesn't it? Curious. We see a dirt bike exhaust? It looks like it. Same reasons.
There it provides the power to drive the hydrogen and oxygen pumps. Then around the large line, through the main fuel shutoff valve, into the injector, and then to the combustion chamber.
So simple.
On the oxygen...
No, seriously, I'm not being sarcastic. That is really absurdly simple for a rocket engine. It does not get simpler than an RL-10. Maybe a pressure-fed hypergol is probably simpler. So like the Apollo service module engine or the LMDE. Two-stroke or four? Two-stroke.
Inside, oxygen flows through the inlet valve through a single-stage pump, directly through the mixture ratio control valve into the injector. Arriving at one of the vertical test stands, the RL-10 is
Oh yeah, that's
installed
right,
and
Arflex,
made
yeah.
ready for test firing. Space firing conditions will be simulated. A steam injector system lowers the pressure to the near vacuum of space.
7, 6. Cameras on. Good timing on. 3, 2. Is good. Head shell is good. 0.
On completion of this test firing, the engine will be returned to the manufacturing area for complete disassembly, inspection, and reassembly. Years of experience, research, and development have gone into the design and manufacture of the Pratt & Whitney aircraft RL-10 rocket engine.
Pressure 320. Temperature on your user is 175. Shorten that micro switch.
We used to build things. We should go back to building things, dude. Unapologetically, we should go back to building things. Also, where are these test stands? Are they in Canoga Park? Oh no, it would have been Pratt & Whitney or Aerojet Rocketdyne Sacramento. Now show the newest RL-10. Yeah, there you go. Yep, there's the newest one. Still making them. Man, those guys are dumb. That rocket engine is upside down. What are you guys, stupid or something? Jeez. Crazy. How much nozzle do you want? Yes. Those guys, no, the guys are upside down? Maybe. That's all Aerojet Rocketdyne. But it looks like we need to go up to Sacramento. AJ260 was upside down. Well, that's the only way they could test it, so that's okay. Nope. Is Pratt Whitney even here anymore? I think they're over here. I think it's over here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. I believe the RL-10 test stands were in West Palm Beach. Oh. Oh. I was right. Well, not with you, Phil. With Baron. We're looking for the M1 test stands, because it looks like they definitely made them. Now, which one of these match the PDF? The overview of the M1 test facilities. Okay, so it's a road that goes up and then curves. All right, let's see. Damn it. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, guys, it's been gone for a long time. That's been toast for a very long time. See the berms right there? That's there you go. There's your test stand. Right there, fueling things. I don't know what those stands are for there, but yeah, that's it. Aerojet constructed significant infrastructure for testing the M1 before the program was canceled. There's your blockhouse for all your test stands. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 cells. From what I can tell. That's a big boy test stand. The deflector is still there. Look. Well, hey, we could get pissed off about this, but we got stuff like Raptor and we got stuff like Stoke and got all the good stuff. So that's nice, but also that's a little annoying. There's a big stand over there. If you go back to 2019, there's some newer test stuff here. Can you go out there and see it? I don't know if these are public roads, but it's very clear that they're still testing something out there, which is pretty cool. I don't think these are public. Yeah, they're definitely not public. It's gated off. There's no way you're getting out there. Yeah, it's all... Hold on, let me check. Yeah, everything's gated. Well, that's annoying. That was it? It's not there anymore? Guess not. Dude, they built like a whole freaking facility for this thing, man. Damn. Wait a minute. Are those all testing cells? Ah, jeez. Come on now. Oh, there's more test stands over here. 1, 2, 3. Yikes. Now it's nothing. I think Aerojet still owns the Aerojet still owns the land. This is all them. All in here. They have, dude, it's not like they're not testing stuff. They have test stands here that are still doing things. I mean, frick off, we know what they're doing. See? They got test stuff down here. They're doing something. But yeah, this is a freaking monster facility, dude. Super cool. Yikes, you bet, concur. I wonder what was canceled in the few years before they tore that down. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't believe that, dude. Look at all the test stands. Unbelievable. Crazy. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Well, at least we found them. Now, see, like, that's what I mean. I know. Now I know. Turbine test stand. Yep. Those huge divider walls there are there as a blast wall from the test stand in case the test stand pops. And they were using... Seems like they were using this thing called railroads to help move stuff in. The M1 originated as a proposal to replace the J2 engines in the second stage of a large pre-Saturn V launch vehicle. 2 M1s could replace 12 J2. Just stick a big block in it. Problem solved. Patton, I don't think you understand the size of this freaking motor. And why I'm a little bit peeved that they canceled the program. Look at that thing next to a Gemini capsule. I mean, I like 427s as much as... I mean, I prefer a 454, but... It's fine. But also, bro, look at that thing. What a freaking monster. I didn't show it on stream, spoiled. That's a leaked picture. We very much should not be seeing that. So I ain't looking at it. It was the 60s. They were using several kinds of rails to make that engine. Yeah, I know. Good stuff. The homeowners association around the Aerojet Rocketdyne facility kept complaining about noise and emissions. In 2017, Aerojet Rocketdyne moved out to Alabama and demolished the stands. By 2020, the area lost 1,400 jobs. They retired the entire Rancho Cordova facility. Good job, guys. Well, there goes your property value. Whoops. But it is California, so probably not, but... Talking about big stuff at 12,000 ton press. I don't want to look at that. I will get very annoyed looking at that. Any major space news? Honda made a reusable rocket, man. It's a test demonstrator, something analogous to Grasshopper, but it does work. We were talking about M1 engines. How do they get all 33 Raptor turbopumps to spin up, shut down, and restart like in that video? So the pre-burners are what does it. 619, the pre-burners, pre-burners basically work like a gas generator. It is a gas generator for all intents and purposes, but it's called a pre-burner because the gas generator exhaust goes right into the rocket engine's combustion chamber. So the pre-burners turn on the impellers, and the impellers start pumping more fuel into the pre-burner. The pre-burner keeps going. Yeah, pre-burners. Yep. So, okay, think like, what does an afterburner do on a jet engine? It reheats the exhaust, right? So you have an additional burn after main combustion. These things are the opposite of that. Raptor is basically two extremely powerful jet engines. One jet engine is running lean and the other one is running rich, and their exhausts go into a rocket engine. Yeah. Gas. With gas, like when you have gaseous oxygen and gaseous methane and they hit each other in the combustion chamber, a very violent explosion happens. That's what comes out the bottom. Yeah, that's a good way to explain a staged combustion cycle. It's two jet engines that are basically, they're exhausting into a combustion chamber. That's what Raptor does. It's really, really, really violent. Mustang. ESA director says Europe has the capabilities to replace NASA contributions. Please, your service module, their service module is caca. You can pull out of that program if you want. We'll just make one. It's fine. Shall we move on to that Starship news? Yeah, sure. Why not? So the last bit of news that I have for you guys is Niall reported this. Niall Ian Anderson reported that SpaceX in a new proposal wants to put their air separator across the street from their launch site in Boca Chica. I'm not sure what that means for the beach. You make a service module 10 years late and 5 times over budget? No. We'll get the commercial industry to do it. We'll get it. We could, like, if I was gonna make a service module for Orion at this point, go to Impulse Space. Have Impulse Space make a Methalox one that can survive boil off. Use that to go explore the moon. And then maybe a hypergolic one later. It should do nothing to the beach, okay? An air separator. Yeah, an air separator is what they would use to basically make a LOX plant, make a liquid oxygen plant. That's what that red area is. This proposal will include the construction of a launch support infrastructure at the Starbase Boca Chica facility. The infrastructure will help provide necessary propellants used for launch activities. This will also lessen traffic on Texas State Highway 4 at Boca Chica. They want to put a LOX plant across the street. Yes, that's fine. It's not a big deal. How do you make liquid oxygen? Well, they need an air separator that pulls atmosphere in and then separates nitrogen and oxygen. I think it's a Sabatier reaction is what it's called. Sabatier. LOX and LN2. I think that's kind of given, but yeah. Takes lots of power. SpaceX has industrial power out there. I'm not worried about it. I'm not showing that, Sawyer. That image is absolutely leaked and should not be public. With that being said, I know I realized I just called attention to it, and now everybody's clicking on the link. But yeah, I'm not showing that out of respect for SpaceX. I ain't doing that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Your elderly grandparents might have an air separator in their house for medical oxygen. Ah, neat. Manfu 21 sub. SpaceX has rocket power out there. Something like that, yeah. Surat, what's up? I thought you could get O2 from electrolysis from desalinated seawater. Well, if you desalinated it, Surat, you're just salinating it again, so you desalinated. Isn't that a double negative? It's easier to pull air out of the atmosphere, Surat, than it is to... I mean, okay, think about it like this. What's the oxygen in the air? The oxygen in the air is mostly nitrogen and oxygen, right? Okay, so now you pull that in, separate the nitrogen. Pretty easy to do. Nitrogen plays very nice. Hydrogen, not so much. Not so much. Now, think about it if you desalinated the water and then you tried to make LOX with that. You have to remove Na, you have to remove Cl, and then you have to remove hydrogen from that as well. And then lay by the bay and make things out of clay. You just may. What do you say? There's more things to do. So because there's more things to do, it takes more power. Pulling it out of the air is way easier. Have we seen anything on what size cold box they want to bring in? I've seen this. So, no. I haven't. You eat pieces of poop for breakfast, Cirrus? Hello, kind of new to the channel. Kind of hard topic for me to understand, but enjoying anyways. English is not your main language. V2? Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, appreciate those kind words, man. I tried to speak slow, just in case people have English as their second language. When I'm explaining stuff, I talk very slowly and very deliberately. But, yeah, I try to make it easier for people to follow along. But sometimes I speak really fast, so, yeah. Sorry. When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll, you know. Just go. English is your third. I'm able to keep up quite well. Well, yeah, just for in case people are watching with English as their second language, I do speak slow when I explain things. I do that on purpose. Desalinization is horrible for the environment. My guess is it wouldn't pass an environmental impact survey. Yeah, probably. They would start with an air distillation plant where they'd condense air to O2, N2, and maybe liquid CO2. But if they plan on doing it for CH4 also, they might want to use salt water and electrolysis. Yeah, maybe. So they can use a Sabatier process to turn CO2 from the atmosphere. I mean, it'd be good research for building infrastructure on Mars, Deadbringer, but tentatively, it's just the air separation unit. Didn't Creeper give you the whole Cameron County link for the ASU? It's a 160-foot cold box. What? I don't know, did he? He may have. Linked in the tweet. You're linked in the tweet. Huh. Yes, it is dunes. I've been there. Oh. Oh, look, the little roundabout. Yep. Yep. I like looking at the pictures. There's Danger Dune. Right there. See that? See this elevation? That's Danger Dune. That's super cool that it's on the topographical map. This is a really good topographical map, too. That's it's pretty sick, Chubbs. Before I go, here's something that you will love. That footprint looks like they could build a gas terminal to yeah. They could build a terminal to receive from the terminal. Yeah. What is this, Baron? I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. Yep. That's dig welding. Oh, that takes so much freaking skill to do that, dude. Oh, it's so good, man. There's an elevation view in the PDF that shows that. Yeah, geek, I gotta figure out how to do that. Oh, that's the thing that Oculus linked about the really big Saturn V's. Holy balls. Should make those. Should make those a KSP. All right. I can make these. Yeah, should be okay. Shouldn't be too hard. Where are we? We're over here. Check the numbers. I'm doing like 20 things at once. Oh, God. Ow, that hurt. I'm doing like 20 things at once. Yeah, 160 foot. Cool. Payload, 980,000 pounds. Okay. I don't want to build the poopy doopy aerospike thing. I don't need that. This guy, though, we could build that. I can make that. 32 million. 32.4 million pounds of thrust with 18 F1 engines in the first stage and 3 M1 engines in the second stage. That's more powerful than Super Heavy. That seems excessive. It only throws 480. It has, well, no, 980,000 pounds. That's 450 tons to Leo. Whatever. No problem. What do you want to put in orbit? Yes. Yeah, please. What's the core stage diameter we're talking about here, Oculux? I mean, yeah, it's got to be like 10 meters wide or something. I'm reading. I'm skimming through it. Give me 1 second. First stage diameter is 65.5 feet. Second stage diameter is 60 feet. That's a 20 meter. 20 meters? That's a 20-meter core. Whoa. Dude. What the hell? I cannot sit. My back's still killing me, dudes. That's insane, man. Could almost fit your mom in it, Cirrus? Jeez. Seriously, though, imagine what you could do with an 18-meter fairing. 18-meter fairing. Link to the NTRS here. I'll link that on both accounts. Yeah, we'll we'll hold on to that. I'm just gonna take this and put it in my very special place over here. Anyway, all right, guys, that's pretty cool. And on that bombshell, it's time to yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Guys, I gotta go lie down. I'm amazed we made it 7 hours. I'm amazed. I would normally do after hours now, but I can only sit for so long. My I tweaked a herniated disc in my back, and I can't. If you've seen me like kind of going all night, it's because it's. Oh, it hurts. Yeah, I've been kind of putting on a brave face here. We're gonna send PT-109 to the moon. We'd have to get it from the bottom of the ocean first, Sigourney. So, yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If my back feels good, we'll work on the car. If not, I want to try to build that Saturn, that post-Saturn vehicle. I want to try to make that in Kerbal, just because. It's gigantic. We're going to have to downscale it for KSP. But, yeah, we'll build that. If we do end up working on the car tomorrow and doing the summer car special, we'll do it on Thursday. Okay? Yeah, I want to do that. Let's make that. That'll be fun. We could do it. We can do it with overclocked engines. I don't know what we're going to use for an OC'd M1, but we'll figure out something. Get a new disc, preferably an SSD. Man, you are lucky you're a mod, because I would have banned you a long time ago. All right. Anyway, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed Space News. I haven't been streaming as much because of my back. My back's killing me right now. Like, I'm not complaining. You guys have been great. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I'm not feeling working on the car, like I said, we'll play Kerbal instead. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this Space and Rocket review. Tell your friends. You two girls, tell your friend. You in the hat. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.